everybody, it's Jeremy.
And Jay.
And we're back with more Tales of Zestiria. Do you want to go try to fight some Medusas? I'm assuming we're going to be fighting two Medusas at the same time.
There is no try, only do.
Destroy us. Okay, we're going to Glyven Basin. Basin? Basin. What? Basin, even.
Basined?
What? Basined? You're basined. Get out of here. Glyven Basin. Where's that? Here it is. I have no idea where the fuck these fucks are supposed to be. Oh, I'm really looking. So we're probably going to take a little bit of a break in between Zestiria and Berseria. We're probably going to place something else as a palate cleanser. We're thinking of doing something like Resident Evil 4 or maybe Evil West or Resident Evil 5. Sorry, not 4. Resident Evil 5, Evil West, something else just to make it to where we're not immediately jumping from Tales of Zestiria into Berseria, because I don't want to, depending on how this game ends, I don't want to go, if I'm not like really happy with it, I don't want to go into Berseria with a bad taste on my mouth of Zestiria. So, are you listening to something? Or is that just here?
No, that's the game.
This is just this is the game.
It's playing the song here.
From when we were fighting Tiamat? That's hilarious. You feel the main villain here compares well with other Tales villains so far. This game does have I will say, things that I think this game does really, really well. The soundtrack is amazing. And I think the character interactions are super fucking good. Like, the characters talking to each other and hanging out with each other and just being people, really, really well done. I wish the rest of the game, like, was up to snuff compared to those two portions. Like, my god, this game would be amazing if that was the case. Okay, we're teleporting over here. Do I feel the main villain here compares well with other Tales villains so far? I think he's probably middle of the pack. There are certain Tales villains that I think are very inconsequential or not very present. I do like the fact that Heldolf has been very present, basically the entire time. So I like that a lot about him. But I also, after the big story event that happened, I also think he's very kind of like, he's just a fucking guy. He's just a guy that got fucking cursed. And that feels like...
Air quotes cursed.
Air quotes cursed, yeah.
Like, what was the curse is like immeasurable power. It's like, oh, but he's gonna have to be alone.
No, the curse is basically eternal life, and anyone who gets close to him dies.
That is the curse.
Anyone who gets close to him dies is the other thing, right? Like, well, I say that like that's our assumption. We honestly don't know because the game did such a shit job of explaining it.
But and it's just so funny because Shepherd Michael was like, curse him or whatever, right? But like, had Michael not done that, then he would have died.
But for example,
that would it. He would be gone.
Do I feel like he lacks a real tragic story compared to something like Deus or Shishel?
A win is a win.
I feel like his story is less relatable, right? Which makes him a less sympathetic villain. It doesn't necessarily make him a worse villain, but it makes him a less sympathetic villain. And it makes him a villain that I'm less interested in, I suppose. But at the same time, compared to I don't know, whatever the world tree planet gonna eat the existence Tales of Arise final boss scenario, I'm like, at least he's a person and is there the majority of the game, so like there are worse and better main villains, I guess, throughout the series.
Zip, stop, zip. I like that. Zip, stop, zip. I missed.
Deus being a hero that's fallen and turned. Yeah, absolutely. There are 100% yes. There are a couple of like I think really good. Like even like I'm not a huge fan of fuck what's his face from Symphonia. It's something in Mythos? Mythos.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Mythos. He right like has this very not relatable character, but is present throughout like half the game. So you get very familiar with him, and you have these big moments where you kind of like grow to understand his character. And even if you don't agree with his character, it's well developed, right? Heldolf has been present, and I think is interesting, or I thought was interesting up until the point to where we started to get all his backstory, and then I don't think he's interesting or sympathetic. So it's kind of unfortunate, you know. You feel for him and at least understand where he's come from. Yeah, like you can at least he lost his sister. It drove him crazy. He had to deal with like intense, you know, species racism, you know, his entire life. There's a lot driving him. You get what's going on, whether you agree with it, right? But Heldolf, I just ended up being this asshole that got cursed.
I'd ask the same.
Like that's honestly, that's just what it feels
We are
like.
part of the joint border guard between Highland and Rollins. But we spotted a village.
And I love how that's like, we must hold
investigate.
this village because it is a
We'd be all right
tactical
if we handled the
advantage
investigation
to have it.
I was
And
so
then
mad.
like
If
they
it turns out
blink
those two are
and
actually
lost
back.
it to the
I'm not
to the
sure I
bad
take your
guys,
meaning.
and then
There's a high chance
Heldolf
you
just
might encounter
immediately
danger there that
bounces.
only the
Like
shepherd could handle.
I
just
thought this
fucking-
was like a tactical advantage. Like
Yeah.
how did you lose it so
Sometimes
quickly?
Sometimes a villain being a boogeyman is also good enough. Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I was actually very happy with the idea that Heldolf was the boogeyman bad guy. I actually really like games that are. Don't get me wrong. I do not mind tragic villains or relatable villains, right? But I feel like too many. Yeah, the Lavos villain is a good villain. Sometimes the problem with relatable villains or villains that you feel for is oftentimes you feel for them and you're like is you know, and that can be good if the game is designed around it. But sometimes I just want to fight a person that is unambiguously evil, right? Or a thing that is unambiguously evil. I just want to go fight it and beat it and put it down because it makes me feel good, right?
Yeah.
I was actually excited about the concept of Heldolf being one or the other, right? Like being either sympathetic or just being this unambiguous evil that we need to stop. And then they kind of turned him into this middle ground where it's like they tried to give him this sympathetic backstory and it's like he's just an asshole. He's just this asshole guy that got cursed. So now he's like he's an unambiguous evil, and I'm like air quotes, right? Because it's not like he's not like an unambiguous evil. He's just a jackass. He's just this jackass that they're trying to make into more than what he actually is. So I don't. It feels a little weird to me. Not to,
Also, it
again,
feels a little
not the
weird
worst
as
villain,
having this like
but
momentous like Tiamat fight
so,
just playing here. Like I love the song,
great song,
great song,
great
but
song.
it seems like
Kind of weird.
tone deaf to be
That's-
playing it here.
Kind of weird. Absolutely.
Why does it smell like that?
My favorite.
Oh, God!
It's a mimic. A mimic zombie. Oh, it's got a little bit of HP. Oh, do you have enough to do your new Mystic as just regular Saray?
I don't.
Oh. I might have enough to do. All right, I'm gonna try to do Zavid's. One.
It's not.
Two.
It's not while he's armatized.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like remember everyone has
Oh,
their
right.
armatized
Fucking-
mystics and their regular mystics.
Fucking Armatized can't even hit 4 times. Like, they only do 3 hits. I guess you can cancel using a blast gauge to, continue, but like, then that would mean it's a 6 blast gauge move if that were the, like, but you're right. It's
Yes. Yeah. Well, so like I don't think a 5
I'm doing
combo
this.
means that you have to use 5 different moves. I think it means you have to do 5 hits with
it's 4 hit and costs 5 blast gauge. It's a 4-hit combo, and it requires 5 blast gauge.
Okay. So again, for verification there, like I don't think a 4-hit combo means you have to use 4 different moves. I think it means you have to use enough moves to hit something 4 times.
Okay.
So you know the combo meter that comes up on the side?
Uh-huh.
You just have to get to 4, I think. I could be
Maybe.
wrong,
Okay.
though. Jay, how do you feel about
Okay.
playing the second player in modern titles like this one? Is it better? I think you have more. I think you have more shit to do in like this game than you do other games. Like you can actually
Right.
menu in this game, for example.
Yeah. So, for the most part, riding shotgun in Tales is fine in pretty much any Tales. Like, obviously I don't get to walk around, talk to people, and shop and all that shit. But like, I don't care really. Like, but when it comes to combat, I have just as much like urgency and influence on combat as Jeremy. Like, maybe the main character has more utility, but it's kind of like designed that way.
It really hasn't
Anyways.
felt. It really hasn't felt like that in this game. Like I know
Not
in
yet.
old games, it's been like the main character gets more skills and is better, etc., etc. I'm gonna tell you what. I think Rose.
Rose is amazing. Watch.
Trounces
I'm up
Saray.
there.
Like,
Tiger. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Rose is actually way better than
I love Rose.
Saray.
Rose feels great.
Don't get me wrong, I really like Saray. I think it's very cool, but like I think Rose is fucking dope. There's always the issue of the camera following the first, and yes, and that does happen in this game, right? But when the camera, that's partially because the camera is just kind of bad in this game. When the camera is doing good, though, it's pretty nice. It's very, like, wide, out in the open, you know?
They are too spread out. I'm just gonna get up in the air. Fuck this. I'm gonna get over it. Oh, got hit. I'm gonna split up so we have a few of them.
Storm is coming! With all my strength, I shall smite evil! Here goes divine wrath!
Cool?
Hey!
Yay! That was cool.
He did the thing!
I did the thing! Now I kind of want to, like, play Zavid until
Zavid
I
up.
fucking... Right? And yeah, it's definitely, you don't have to use 4 unique moves, you just have to you just gotta get a 4-hit combo. So like, if you have a move that hits multiple times, you can trigger a 4-hit combo
Okay.
real fucking easy.
That's pretty generous then. I have just been assuming it's meant that number of mystic or martial arts, like 4 martial arts in a row.
I've assumed that in the past as well, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Well, you know what? It might be, but I don't fucking know.
Oh, that dude went.
I fucking love Zavid's Hyper Viper Beam.
Yeah, he's got Cable Super from MVC2.
And I love how willing he is to, like, throw it the fuck out, too. Here it comes! Oh, he missed.
Yeah.
That's a little disappointing.
I mean, the reason why he missed is because we were knocking it out of the way. Like, if we stop... Oh, well, that wasn't the same move. There.
We're
Nice.
survivors, no matter the odds.
Through our hearts.
Oh, shit. Is it me, or do the enemies stay alive for longer than you think when they're absolute
Yes, that HP bar has been fucking with me this entire game.
Yeah, Jay has talked about that to a great extent. I think it's almost kind of like, it's like the...
There must be herbs
I don't know the
around here.
word that I want to... It's like it's proportioned to where the last 25%...
Saray, look around you.
Oh, God. So for example, it's like a bottle or a milk jug, right? Like, it's portions of it, you know, go very quickly because of the way that they're designed. So the top seems to go very quickly, and it's like 50%, and then it just gets, I think it's just the weird shape of the bar, and then it gets down to like the
if it
last
was just a rectangle, like maybe
if it was just one rectangle, it could just go all the way down. But like it gets to like the last half of the design of the object, but that last half of the design of the object is actually like 60% of the fucking thing's life. You know?
Feels like it, right?
Well, I don't think it feels like it. I think it is. Like, I'm gonna check. When we see the bar that's
eyeball 50%, let's look and check.
Yeah, when it looks about 50%, let's see what the actual HP is.
All right, I'm looking at the health bar, and I'm gonna like call when you think we're at 50%. Like
That's definitely 50%. That's pretty close, actually.
That's all right. So that's ish.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. So if you look at it right now, and if we were to do geometry or trigonometry or whatever, and we were to calculate the area of this object, what's filled in right now is actually like 30% is filled in, because so much of it is gone.
Or less, honestly.
Yeah, the lower it goes, the weirder it gets. It's very, very strange.
All
so
right,
let's check.
So I'm trying to make the assumption like it's it just healed.
Well, it just healed a shit ton.
Like a lot. Fuck you! That's just my normal one. So if this was a rectangle, I would say this is like
so it definitely looks like we've gone down to like at least 25% now, and we've only dropped 2,000 HP.
Yeah,
Like-
she said J Luminescence.
Yeah,
She
J
said-
Luminescence,
J
absolutely.
Luminescence. I dig it.
How that works.
Blazing Tempest.
Yeah. Looks like it's almost out of
Oh.
HP. Oh, it still has 4,000 HP left.
And remember, 8,000 was like half.
Yeah. It's very strange. Looks like any hit,
All right.
and then it was just gonna go. It's just gone. It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. Absolutely. Oh God.
Ready, everyone?
You know what? Where's my bay? This is how we really play the game.
Yeah, that's.
That's the way.
All this fighting sure
Job
makes
done.
me hungry.
Job good.
Actually, fuck that. We're putting Lila back in.
Look, it's like we were talking about dominant strategy.
Dominant strategy, absolutely.
I'll protect you, Rose.
Appear, flames!
It's gonna put 50 bajillion traps down
Appear, flames! Appear, flames!
that does no damage.
I'm so confused because, like, in the past, we've, like... In the past, when I get hit with things, it does nothing. But these guys are... I guess their attacks are, like... Their attacks are, like, hidden arts or whatever? Rather than martial arts?
I like.
I stopped
haven't
stopped
really been paying
understanding how it
attention to
works.
the triangle at
That was
all.
pretty good, Shorty.
Zavid's stand out because he's got some really good ones and then some pretty bad ones. You know, like,
I like the giant X with the screen or a hyper viper beam.
yes.
Those are good.
Like,
those.
sometimes he shouts out stuff that's, like, really cool, like, let's dance, or whatever, right? And then sometimes it's like, Zavid, keep it in your pants. Calm down. Right? Like, we got some horses.
It is a discovery.
That's odd. This area isn't supposed to have any
We've got
wild
so much
horses.
AP and
not?
like not
Yeah.
really a lot to
The
spend it
sparrow
on
feathers pass
anymore.
through here all the
That's
time,
another
but
thing
I've
that
never seen it
was
before.
very interesting
Couldn't they be
initially,
former war horses?
and then started to be
There you
less
go.
interesting.
That explains it. They must have gotten
Is the
separated.
the whole, like,
Stupid
unlocking
armies.
AP things.
Clean up after yourselves at least.
I wonder which country's horses they are. Who knows? Might be both.
Making their peace as fellow strays.
Would that surprise you? It's not like the horses have any reason to fight. Just like people, horses too run from the terrors of war. Technically, they gallop.
Are
How do I
they?
feel about
Shut
the
up, Ned.
Discovery
Are they
stuff?
Okay to live like that?
Why not?
Super
The malevolence of the
disappointed.
battlefield is long
Okay,
gone.
well, actually,
The main
stuff like
danger is
this
power.
I like a lot,
The
right?
main
Like, stuff like
danger,
this
you
I think is very, very
No.
cool.
No, I don't.
The Discovery... So actually, I guess, the Discovery stuff, very cool. The Monolith stuff, stupid disappointing, right? I thought the monoliths were gonna turn into, like, really cool lore bits, but they're all just dumb tutorial stuff, and a lot of the stuff repeats itself. I wish the discoveries. I like the discoveries; they're cool. I wish the monoliths were like lore bits about ruins in the world.
I mean, that's
And
what
that
they're
would-
supposed to be.
that would be
like,
really
that's
neat.
what Sorei's interested in finding them. That's like, but no, it's just like, did you know you can use your blast gauge to cancel attacks? Like, yes,
Yeah,
fucking yes. Like,
yeah.
Counting on you, Lila!
What are these things?
they
The
are
Slimeroonies.
Slime root.
What was my slime? What's my slime move? My slime move is it's
non-existent.
Searing Gale. Damn.
Forces of nature. Horizon storm.
Oh, I hate it.
Abandon your doubts
That's a few, by the way.
Here's my slime move.
There's the... That's the kind of everything move. Wow, it just ruined the entire fight. Wow, that's... The one that got behind you is the only one that lived.
There's my slime move. Super good.
I was
Zavi.
clearly the star of that battle.
It's easiest to notice the dimmer stars when they shine, they say.
Yeah, right, like... I don't know.
Did you know?
And they talk about this shit throughout the game as well, right? They talk about like different like civilizations and different eras and things like that. And it would have been so cool to actually have that stuff come into play. You know, and the monoliths would have been a great way to do that. Just another thing to be disappointed about, unfortunately.
Honestly, I'm just gonna throw this out there as far as combat is concerned. It's more fun to play as a human than it is armatization. Like, you have more options and more like combo potential as a human than you do in Seraph. Like, it will do more damage. You will definitely do more damage, but like, I don't know. I like the setup where I can be like, oh, I'm in there, now I'm doing this air stuff. Oh, now I can do something and go back to the ground. And you can't do that in armatization. How is Rose getting through there?
How's armatization in general? Do I think it's worth bringing back? I think it is worth playing around with in future games with caveats. Right? Like, I think it is a very cool system, and I can see how it is very interesting. I do agree with Jay in the idea that you lose a lot when going into armatization versus playing a human. But I think there are a lot of really cool things. So how do you fix some of the problems? Well, one, it's just really cool. So your issue is that you have more combo potential in human. Okay, so just put more combo potential into the armatizations.
It's also fun to just be like, it's morphin time in Armatize.
Absolutely. So, and it's cool to swap between different ones for the appropriate situation. Like, there's a lot going on there that I think is very neat.
What if like a different version of this was actually played out like it looked like in the cinematics for the Tiamat fight?
Yeah.
Like, that's just how the combat works. Like, you could actually like swap out Seraph's mid combo and shit. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah, absolutely. As a modern version of the game, like, think about this, like the way that fighting games do like tag-ins and things like that, right? Like, if I could, if I was, for example, if I was armatized, right? If I hit a Seraph's button, right? If what happened was it immediately swapped me into their armatization, even while I'm mid-combo, that would be incredibly cool, and you would lose your fucking mind over it, right? Like, that would be so fucking awesome. But that, I think, would require a more modern system than what's available here. But I think, like, if you look at Tales of Arise and how just fucking crisp that gameplay is in Tales of Arise, right? Like, I totally think they could do it again. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. So I do think the armatization is something that is worth experimenting with again. And that could be very cool.
Well, honestly, all right, look, just like full disclosure, this won't surprise you at all, and probably already made the assumption. That suggestion, the reason why I know it works so well is because it's basically what Devil May Cry does. You can swap styles
Yeah, absolutely.
Mid combo, it is encouraged that you do that.
Yeah.
Calamity Flare!
And like, all right, imagine this, right?
Appear, flames! You may
What if you took out all the Seraph's abilities to do mixed damage, right? So Zephyr can't do fire at all, right? So if you want to do fire, you would have to like swap into Lila mid combo to get your fire.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But right now, like it's you just unarmatize, swap to Lila, armatize, and you stay that way, right? But imagine you could just you're armatized, swap to Lila to get like the power hit or whatever, or do fire damage, and then swap out to something that hits more, hits harder, like Edna, to carry on that power hit to do more damage.
There are a bunch of different ways that I think you could explore that. In addition, like another thing that I think you could approach it as is, now I wouldn't do it with this game, but I could see a game doing it in a similar manner with an armatization. And that's not having your Seraphs be in battle at all, right? Like, if we had a game where we had 4 human characters, right? And we had another 4 Seraphs, or whatever, right? Like 4 human characters, and you had 8 Seraphs. And it was literally just, you play whichever character you want to play, and then you press a button and you're swapping to each Seraph on the fly, right? Like,
the characters are here in the game. Like Alicia is one, sure, and now we're talking about Sergei, like potentially being the other. Like it could work. Like
Absolutely.
you could have 4 human characters, and you can assign
Suppose I could learn from your level of
the
reserve.
Seraphs that you wish. And
yeah, absolutely. So that I think would be a very cool system, and it would allow for situations in which I think a more modern, technically and mechanically demanding game could take advantage of those types of situations and be really, really, really cool. Like Tales of Destiny Swordians, yes, like that type. It's similar to that type of situation. Yes, absolutely. And I think that would be very, very neat, right? So yeah, I do think that the armatization concept is worth revisiting. Now, it might not be armatization. It might be called something else or whatever. But the idea of combining with, I'll say this. This is something that I think would be really cool. Maybe instead of Seraphs, although it's basically the same thing, for me, Tales games have always been more about, or not always been more about, but like the spirits or the summons, right? Like the elemental like beings, which the Seraphs are just this game's version of, right? Which is fine. But if you had a game that was that, where you had what you have Ifrit, Undine, or Undini, Sylph, Gnome,
I hate that pronunciation.
Right? And then you have
Bolt. What a shadow called? Is it
Light and Shadow, whatever those two are. Bolt, and then there's Time, right? Or there's always an 8th one, right?
Like Cronus or whatever,
something like that. So if you had a game that had those individuals and they were like characters or something like that, or like Swordians, right? Like something like that. But you had, for example, just 2 characters. You don't even have to have a 4-person party, right? Just have you could have a fucking 1-person party for all I care. But I would prefer 2 because I like multiplayer games with Jay, right? But if you had 2 characters and the whole purpose or premise of the game was that those 2 characters have a base moveset, and then their base moveset is augmented by whatever elemental they are combined with, and you can swap your combinations on the fly, that would be ludicrously cool. Ludicrously cool. Right? Because you're mid-combo, and you've got, like, Ifrit on you, and you're doing all this flashy fire shit, and your mid-combo, you swap to Shadow, and it changes your base moveset into the Shadow version of the moves. Would be so fucking neat.
Bro, You should play Final Fantasy 16. No spoilers.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Look, I had a good. Fuck.
Oh yeah, JRPG said the same
God
thing.
damn it. I haven't played FM16 yet. But it's good to know that I have a good idea, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man, 16 was fucking bonkers. That game was nuts.
Oh shit, my controller's dying again.
Here we go. No, I can't move either. It's not me.
It hasn't swapped over to you yet. Okay, it should be you now.
That's me now.
Oh, no!
It's you.
It came back to me.
You caught it. You caught it before it went off.
Seems there's a treasure chest near us.
How does that happen?
Connect the wire to your fucking controller.
I can't. Well, I mean, I could, but the wire's like this long, so I would have to play like this.
What? Who would make a cable that long?
It came with it.
Who made that?
90% of fucking peripheral companies these days. So that you have to go buy a longer cable. Yeah, I can agree with that, JRPG Party. There is a lot of sameness about the dungeons. There are a few that are really cool and have like their own unique aesthetic, but generally speaking, I will say, especially compared to older Tales games, or newer ones, I guess, because Arise does this too. But like, I was gonna say 2D Tales games, right? Which have these beautiful, like, hand-drawn, like, dungeon layouts and backgrounds and things like that. It really comes across as kind of like, meh. Like, unfortunately. Just a little meh.
Weapons ready.
Just a little meh. It's not the worst thing in existence, but, you know, it definitely doesn't add to anything good.
But I will say, like, this is definitely a fun conversation. But the likelihood that that Bandai Namco is going to have like do the same system again in a Tales game is practically none. Like, unless it's like a sequel, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, I can see that.
But, well, I guess Zestiria is, well, it's a prequel, but I mean, whatever.
It's also
whatever.
I would say that's from the kind of like newer perspective. Although, like, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I would say I think most Tales games are fundamentally the same system.
Yeah,
I think
they have well, I mean, they all have the same like building blocks.
I think
right?
this game is the like one outlier. Like, Armatization is the weird one out of the bunch. You know?
Can stand.
But me.
Like, wow.
Hi, Zavid.
Not to say that other games don't have unique
Saray,
components,
look carefully at the
right?
ground.
But like most of the other games are actually like pretty basic from a system standpoint. Like, they have their moves, they have their they have their martial arts, right? They have their skills or whatever, techs, right? They have their arts, and then they have their mystic arts. And that tends to be it. Like, certain games have summons, and that tends to be it. Like, there doesn't tend to be a lot of other things happening in Tales games, generally speaking, right? Like, unless I'm just misremembering a lot of things, right?
Wait, that's...
Burst gauge, yeah, like a special gauge or something like that. Like, a fair number of them have something along those lines, right? You know? But, like, how many of them have something like Armatization? Like, that one's kind of, like, out of left field, I feel like. Or even something as unique as Armatization, not specifically like it, you know? Aha.
Right road.
Yeah, well, know, fuck it. Like, so, for example, Arise has something. Arise has... Ooh, Zillia has the twin system. I haven't played Zillia, so that's an interesting one. Arise has the ability to, like, call in your people's, like, an assist type scenario, right? So, that's really cool. And it has... But aside from that, it's also, like, it's got the same basic kind of like formula. It's got your techniques, it's got your arts, your casts, and then it's got your mystic arts, right?
Yep.
You know? I think that generally speaking, Zestiria might be pretty fucking unique when it comes to Tales games. In a systems regard, at least.
Yeah, I think we'll have fun when we get to Zillia and Zillia 2.
Oh, you think so?
The link system is actually pretty interesting.
How did I feel about the expansion announcement? I have only barely like looked at it. I did hear about it, but I haven't really invested anything too terribly much. I will say this. I really enjoyed Arise initially. I hated the end of the game. I absolutely hated the end of the game from a story perspective, obviously. Right. The game was still fun to play, but
it's one of the best combats in the franchise.
But I thought the way that the direction that they went with the story was very, very idiotic and inane. And I also thought it kind of like got very bland and samey towards the end, right? So I hope to play it with Jay eventually, but
we do have a plan, right? Yeah. We found out about the expansion, and we intend to one day, like even before the expansion was out, we plan to try the multiplayer mod for Tales of Arise.
Yep.
But I think what the plan is now is that, after, now that we know there's an expansion from... Oh, shit, sorry. Alright, I got it. I don't know why I also armatized, whatever, but yeah. We'll plan on trying the multiplayer mod and then experience the expansion together for the first time.
Oh, is that the plan? We're gonna do expansion?
That's the idea I have. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. Like, if you're just curious of what it is, I don't care. Like, you do you.
I'm pretty interested in us playing it together. Or I think that would be fun. Jesus, save me.
Right. Did I only hit one?
Yes.
Miclio!
What do you want from him? This thing doesn't hit more.
He's looking in the range, bro.
Oh, fucking...
I'm getting juggled. Ow, ow, ow. Stop, ow. Please. Ow, fuck. I'm out of here.
Do I have a fucking art that is actually...
Art. East Thunder.
Shadow Shock is amorphous. Okay, so that's my down.
I better get it together. Fear the storm! Fear the storm!
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Zip, zop, zip. Hit him with the zip, zop, zip.
There we go.
Pretty smooth sword
Just had to find the right fucking skill. I do like that about this game. Just like, oh, find the right art to use.
How are you building your arms like that?
I don't know.
Like,
weird that older titles with 2B it used to take a long time before you get arts that hit multiple times, but oh yeah, this game was like, oh, we want people to see big numbers ASAP. And I don't hate it, honestly. Like I like having access to big combos very quickly.
Shadow Shock! Horizon's not yet! Hang on, everyone! Shadow Shock!
Double demon fang! Heat barrier!
Try this on! Let's get him!
Don't break just yet.
Screech.
Purging grace my enemy!
Screech.
Shadow Shock! Strike! It's over!
Well, what? Is this PC? Yeah, it's on PC. Yeah, this is the Steam version.
It is how we were playing multiplayer. If I don't know how we would do multiplayer, we wouldn't be able to do multiplayer on console versions at all.
I was hoping for someone.
Well, okay then.
Unexpectedly weak.
All right, you. What's with the weird graphical downgrade when I start hitting a lot? I have no idea.
Surely this
Is there a weird graphic?
I have. Well, I'm not the person to ask because I'm losing some. Sometimes the bitrate gets a little questionable on Parsec.
Oh yeah. It's also.
So.
Oh, enemy animation? Yeah, there's just certain like times where the enemies just start to like kind of lose their shit. That's been a thing throughout the whole game.
Try this on! Freezing Strike! Howling Cyclone! Freezing Fracture! Shadow Shock! Don't push yourself, Lila! Howling Cyclone!
Abandon your tower. The truth is within. I need assistance.
You were saying? Oh. Okay. You know what? I wish another thing. I wish there was auto food.
Delicious. Now everybody's vomiting from eating black stuff.
Have we done all the? No, we've done 2. We did Serays and Roses, but we haven't done any of the Seraphs so far.
No. And it seems like the rewards are shitty. It's like, here's a new weapon, I guess. I'm like, all right, throw it in the bag.
I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff.
Yeah, it's just a weapon. Like Sora got a new sword and Rose got a new dagger. But
yeah,
doing them.
The other thing would be like, they were very challenging, right? Like they were super challenging at the point that we discovered them in the game. So like it might be worth going back and doing them now, but like when we found them, it was like real struggle bus. So like it was hard for me to go through just on Saray, and then it was very hard for Jay to go through on Rose.
Until it just ended up spamming the one art.
Yeah, so the idea that we go and do it on people that we're unfamiliar with was kind of like, I don't really want to do that. So I've always been like keeping it in the back of my head, like maybe we go do that when we're just higher level and hopefully it doesn't scale with us.
Yeah, I mean, and that probably will work out fine, but I mean,
Quite.
again, we're just gonna get a weapon to.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything worth it or not. I like maybe there's a completion bonus afterwards, or maybe it unlocks something else to do. You know?
Yep. The owner of this junk got gobbled up.
But why did they leave this stuff untouched?
Oh, what is the what if it like if the reward was like the what is it in Tales the weapons that get stronger the more you kill with them?
Oh, the fucking abyssal weapons or whatever.
Abyssal, yeah.
Or the devil arms. Devil arms.
That's it. Devil arms.
Inside of a slime stomach.
You're right.
I got there.
Like
I got it right
reward.
before you said it, JRPG.
Yeah.
The slimes would barely have anything.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Then
Like,
again,
we haven't seen
like-
Devil Arms, we haven't seen Sword Dancer, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it'd
where's
be
Sword?
really-
All right,
It'd be really
I'm
cool.
just looking up. I'm gonna look up a Sword Dancer's in the stereo.
Oh yeah?
Sword Dancer.
Sword
Zestiria.
Dancer.
does not. I'm not seeing anything. It does not look like Sword Dancer is in Zestiria.
Aw. That's okay. I mean, it's not like Sword Dancer isn't in every single Tales game.
No, but like he's kind of a recurring.
I would say that the voice acting feels pretty good, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like the top of the line or anything like that. Well, I'd say it's pretty close to top of the line, right? For its age and for its era, right? And for kind of like the overall design, I think the voices that they picked very fitting, generally good across the board. For the main cast. For other stuff, it's quite obvious that they didn't put nearly as much effort into other voices, which I think that's not fucking surprising. So, like, you know, no big deal. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, no, like I think this game excels actually in being multiplayer kind of. Like it felt like it was designed with multiplayer in mind, whereas most of the time Tales does not seem to like multiplayer is in majority of the game, right? But like it doesn't feel like a lot of time or effort is necessarily put into it.
I actually wonder, you know, like I have since thought about this concept. You know how their response on not putting multiplayer in Arise was that they felt as if the fan base wasn't interested in it or whatever, right? I almost wonder if they reacted to, because a lot of people really dislike Zestiria. Like a lot of people really dislike Zestiria. So like I wonder if you're correct in that Zestiria was very designed to be multiplayer. If that was the case, and a lot of people hated it, maybe that caused them to rethink multiplayer, right? You doubt it?
That wasn't the problem.
I also doubt it too. I'm just devil's advocating JRPG. Yeah. I'm just like throwing out this like, ooh, what if kind of like positive moment. I don't think that's truly the case either. I would 100% would think it was just a financial decision, right? Like either a time decision or a financial decision, basically like them going, it's going to take us X amount of money and time to put multiplayer into this, and them going, yeah, we're not going to do that because we're not going to spend that fucking money. I hope we do see it in the next full game, because there was a pretty large outcry over the lack of it in Arise.
There was an outcry about the lacking of multiplayer, but there was a strangely weird, seemingly out of nowhere support for not having it as well. Like, there were people like,
sure,
I don't understand what the big deal is.
Well, that happens on anything, though, on the internet. Like, every argument that anyone puts forward on the internet, you're gonna have people detract it just for the sake of argument, right? So I don't feel I'm sure there are people out there that are like, oh, I don't actually care about multiplayer in this game, right? But I would say that the way more people that are bitching or countering it are just doing it because they fucking can. Yeah, 100%. Because the thing about multiplayer is for a single player, unless the game is designed around multiplayer, then the inclusion of it is benign. Like, so I can't imagine most Tales fans, if they were single player players, they generally just wouldn't care about the inclusion of multiplayer. You know? They wouldn't have a strong vindication of like, oh, no, I think it's good that they didn't include it. You know? Oh, shit. Ah! Yeah, well, truth be told, like...
I mean, fair.
I think that's
absolutely fair.
I think that's a reason why a lot of
That's
RPGs don't include multiplayers, because a lot of them from back in the olden days, I don't think a lot of people are even aware that you can play them multiplayer. Right, like a
people
lot of
just
old
still
Final
get tripped
Fantasy
out when you're
games.
like, Final Fantasy is multiplayer? What?
Yeah,
What are
exactly,
you talking
right?
about? I mean, many are not. Some are.
Sure. Well, I mean, you say many are not and some are, but like a good 30 or 40% of them are multiplayer, you know?
And we've already played all of them but one. The only one we haven't played is 4.
Of the main lines, right? Like
Yeah.
there are, I think,
Nice to be able
offshoots
to
that are
put my hair
multiplayer
up
as
with
well.
a barrette, right?
what's a barrette?
Oh God, we can't
You
let.
mean like Crypto Chronicles or I mean, like,
Yeah, that type of shit, you know?
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like I would assume a lot of people have no ideas.
There may be some herbs out here.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for them.
Yeah, I wish JRPG that I could just fucking like. I wish I could stream with 0 delay.
Yeah, it would be great.
And have like everything else just be perfectly 100% in tune. I don't like, I understand the desire or the want
Whoa.
to have that capability in case, but in my case I wish I could just choose the setting of like having 0 delay and then having chat not be, you know, not have to be behind in any way, shape, form, fashion. It's very annoying.
It is.
Yeah, they just recently. Well, it was like that for a while, and then they took it away. And they just recently put
So,
it
Ray,
back up
look
to
around
where you can simulcast now. So, yeah, I could start doing it on YouTube, and I actually have thought about doing that. I'm actually going to be getting a new computer, hopefully Christmas-ish. Yes, I absolutely have thought about it. I'm actually probably going to be getting a new computer for Christmas, and when that happens, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of different things, like adding, like trying a couple of new things and adding some new shit like that, and adding some new like stream elements and things. And when that happens, I will probably do something like try some YouTube streams as well, or some simulcasts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Trying to get to this fucking save point.
All right, I'm also gonna look up how to get to Aizen.
Make it easier to upload streams from YouTube to YouTube. Yeah, that is an option. There's certain like weird editing issues with YouTube though, and I do like to edit certain things about my YouTube uploads. So it's something that I'm gonna look into, but I don't know that it's gonna be like a good permanent solution. But we'll see, right? It might just end up being that I just fucking stream to both and still upload to YouTube like I regularly do. So,
I mean, I don't, you know, not a whole lot's going to come out of it because, you know, right now on Twitch we have a grand total of
2 viewers,
one active viewer.
Yeah, it be what it be. Anyways, that being said, this is where we are going to end this episode. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We're going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you enjoyed. We will see you next time for more Tales of Zestiria. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.